Hey guys, what's up? This is Sarah Johnson from sarahjohnsononline.com, and I hope that you had a fantastic Mother's Day. I think for me, this was the most transformational Mother's Day of my entire life. I've only been a mother for the past 13 years, but I would say this is definitely the most transformational day for me. Why? Why do I say that? Because if many of you that have followed me over the years somewhat know a little bit about my story and my relationship or lack thereof with my mother. So just to give you a brief synopsis of, my story related to my mother is that I'm 39 years old now, and for when I was one, my father got custody of me at the time because my mom and dad weren't married. They were very young. My mother had a child from a previous relationship prior to me coming into her life. And I think just that experience of me coming into her life unexpectedly, it caused friction with her existing relationship. So basically my mom and dad were just messing around and I came on board. So anyhow, my father thought that my mother wasn't in the place to take care of me. Neither was he actually, but I think he was more determined to give me the life that he felt that I deserved. Needless to say, he petitioned the court, got custody of me, and from that point on, from the year of 1 year old on to about 18, I had only seen my mom one time. So I had never spoken to her throughout that period of 17 years, never had any close relationships. So I immigrated to the US, and then when I turned 18, I was like, wow, I should try to reach out to her. So I reached out to her, and all throughout that period of time, I really didn't know the full story behind my mother's absence from my life. And because I didn't know the full story, I started hearing rumors of how she didn't really want me in her life. And so I started to fill in my own conclusion to that whole that her being absent from my life. I started filling in things in, and it's like, wow, she didn't love me, and how is it that a mother could do this to their child? Needless to say, when I turned about 29, her and I had actually more about 35. Her and I had a full-fledged discussion because I wanted to understand what had transpired. And basically the bottom line is that she was really young, was not did not have the ability or the capacity to take care of me. And luckily my father was able to immigrate to the United States, and he was able to deliver or to provide a better life for me. So all my life, I started blaming my mother. I was like, wow, she's the reason why I'm this, that, anything that negative that popped up in my life, I would blame it on her, of the mere fact that I never had a relationship with her. So I had a lot of anger and hatred and just negative resentment, and you name it, I had it towards her because I felt that, wow, you have this daughter and you never came looking for me. You never tried to reach out to me. I had to come and try to find you. And even when, I reached out to her, I never really was fully connected to her. Not because she was absent from my life. Anyway, what happened this week is that I was able to reach out to her and say, I realized because she has some other children, and one of them was my sister, who's about 25. She had called me up one day and was like, our mother needs a stove. And initially I was like, well, what you calling me for? Why do I have to purchase a stove for her? Why do I have to contribute? So anyway, a month went by and I was like, why not? Why? She needs a stove. They don't have the money to buy her a stove. And I am in I have the ability to purchase that stove. So I purchased a stove for her. I didn't really want her to know that I purchased it. But anyway, she found out that I purchased it, and she was so ecstatic. And I think just that act alone, that act of on my behalf to, purchase a stove for her, it really started to clear up some smoke, I would say. The smoke of unforgiveness and resentment and hatred, or just deep resentment, I would say. I don't even know if it was hatred, just the lack of understanding of what had transpired in the past. So anyway, me purchasing that stove, it brought us on a path where it really took me down the path of teaching me the lessons of forgiveness. So I decided, I was like, you know what? This is a perfect opportunity for me to clear the smoke, to clear out all the negative feelings that I've had from my mother over all this period of time. So I called her up. I was like, look, let's begin anew. Let's begin fresh. Let's clear the slate. Just clear it. Forget what has happened, because what has happened in the past should have happened. Everything happens for a divine reason, a divine purpose. And I don't know what my life would be like if she was, if I was still in her custody. I don't know. I know actually that my life would be very different. So everything happened perfectly. She was supposed to exit my life, and she was supposed to re-enter my life during this period of time. So the lesson for me is that when we hold on to unforgiveness, it hurts us. It allows us to live shallow lives. It allows us to remain in our confined space, our limited understanding, our limited thinking. It doesn't allow us to grow and become the great person that we were born here to become. So when I said, let's just start anew, let's start fresh, let the past be the past, let's forgive everything, it was so transformational, not just for me, but for her. My sister called me, or IM'd me on Facebook and was like, our mother is so ecstatic. All along, she wanted this relationship with me, and rightfully so. She is my mother. She wanted a relationship with her daughter, who she didn't know for these past 39 years. So my message to you, if I can do it, so can you. You begin with that step of forgiving. So if you felt like your parents have done you wrong, or a past mate have done you, whomever has done you wrong, it starts with us with you making the decision to say, look, I don't want to continue living that past in my mind. The past is over. The only thing that's happening is us reliving the stories in our mind. We cannot start anew. The only time that we can start anew is right now. We cannot start anew when we're harping on the past. The past is just the past. It's an illusion now. So that is my lesson on forgiveness. This experience has contributed to me having the best Mother's Day ever. So I hope that you had a fantastic Mother's Day. I am wishing that, if you are holding on to unforgiveness, let go. Do as I did. Let go. And it's much easier than you think. It starts with us making that decision. So I thank you for joining me. Thank you for being an ear to this message. And I would love for you to leave a comment. Do you have stories of unforgiveness? How have you transitioned between unforgiveness to that point in your life where you're forgiven? Or just leave a message, leave a comment in the box below, and share this story with someone else. It's not about us, it's also about other people. So thank you, and have a wonderful